A Crusader king, Ice Age megaflood, billion-year-old lava. Jay Cooke's East Rim Trail has all of it. The gorge below was carved in geological seconds, exposing the rock that you're walking on that actually predates complex life. It's that old. And I'm going to explain how a medieval Crusader king ended up naming a river in northern Minnesota 500 years after his death. Let's go hiking. The hike starts here on the famous swinging bridge, which is 240 feet long, spanning 130 feet across the St. Louis River. CCC workers built these stone pylons that you see in 1934, and they've watched the St. Louis River wash away everything above them 3 times: 1940, 1950, and 2012's record flood. Each time, engineers rebuilt it higher. Each time, the river came back stronger. So you are standing on basically a century of tug-of-war between a river and some chill hikers who just happen to want to cross in one particular spot. Once you cross the suspension bridge, that's where the East Rim Trail really starts. You can take it clockwise or counterclockwise. Both are fine. And yeah, one more time, let's just take one quick look at the beautiful St. Louis River and the bridge. While we go on this hike, we are going to talk about how did the St. Louis River get its name and how does it tie all the way back to a medieval Crusader king from the late 1200s. And we're also going to talk about the unique geology that makes Jay Cooke State Park so special. But first, let's do the trail stats. The East Ridge Trail is 1.9 miles or 3 kilometers with 147 feet or 45 meters of elevation gain. The trail's rated easy. There are a lot of side trails and spur trails everywhere, so you're definitely going to add to that distance as you explore. Like, for example, right now, you can see I'm heading back towards the St. Louis River to get some more close-up shots and some more 360 footage. So lots of these little spur trails. I saw a ton of animal tracks throughout here too, so a lot of critters have been using these spur trails. Check this out. I'm going to get real close to the edge, but you really got to think about it and make the right decision here. So make sure you're extra safe.
Man, I don't know if I'm going to get that close.
Before we talk about medieval Crusaders' impact on Minnesota, let's first go back in time around 10,000 years to the creation of this amazing gorge, because gorges like this are usually formed over time with water slowly eroding away the surface over centuries. Think something like the Grand Canyon or the Colorado River. This was created in a geological flash, not slowly over time, because what you're looking at right now did not exist 12,000 years ago. Imagine we're at the end of the Pleistocene epoch, the last ice age. The Laurentide ice sheet, this massive wall of ice over a mile thick, is finally retreating. Think Game of Thrones and all the way up at the ice wall of the north. And as it melts, all this water has to go somewhere. So what it does is it fills up the Lake Superior Basin. But here's the thing, the eastern shore is still ice, a towering wall of it, and it's blocking the natural drainage. So what happens? Just like a tub or a sink, the lake keeps filling and filling and filling. And they've actually given this lake a name. It's called Glacial Lake Duluth, and it's standing 500 feet higher than modern Lake Superior. 500 feet. So if you're standing, what you're seeing right now on screen, if you're standing here 12,000 years ago, you would be underwater. Obviously, ice dams don't hold forever, and when this one broke, the St. Louis River became a monster. We're talking about catastrophic damage. Glacial meltwater, already swollen, just rips through the landscape. All that red clay, the silt, the sand, the glaciers deposited, it's gone, torn away.
All right, now we're going the right way. So, I was going the wrong way, but now I'm going the right way.
So once all the red clay, silt, and sand is gone, what's left? The Thompson Formation, billion-year-old bedrock, which is what you see all around the gorge. Now it feels like we're in Star Trek. Slate and gray wacko that has been sitting here since before complex life existed on Earth is now exposed. And it was exposed in geological seconds, maybe days, maybe weeks. This river carved this entire 13-mile gorge straight through it in roughly days. Can you imagine how catastrophic and quick and just amazing the amount of earth that would have to be moved to create a 13-mile gorge? This was not erosion over millions of years. This was geological violence. This was the power of an ice age ending all at once. You can see proof as you drive through Duluth, Minnesota. Look at the road cuts. There is red clay everywhere. And Skyline Parkway, the road that runs along the old shoreline of Glacial Lake Duluth, 500 feet above where we're standing right now, it really does drive home what we're talking about. It really helps you conceptualize it and visualize it. The gorge and everything you see below us was carved in a geological instant. And think about this, that river that you're hearing is just a tiny trickle compared to the sound it was 12,000 years ago when it created this gorge in just a few days. The St. Louis River around Jay Cooke State Park is such a beautiful and unique place. This 192-mile river is the largest U.S. tributary to Lake Superior and the largest to the entire Great Lakes system. It's a vital link between the Mississippi and the Great Lakes. The Ojibwe called it Gichigami-Zibi, which translates to Great Lake River, and they still do. And I want you to think about this gorge that we take a suspension bridge across used to be so treacherous that travelers had to portage 6.5 miles around it just to continue on their journey. But that still leaves the question, how did the St. Louis River get its new name, the St. Louis River? And what does that have to do with a Crusader king from the 1200s? Let's follow the chain. Also, I did mention that I get lost twice on this hike. What's funny is you can actually see me and hear me check the map right here. I showed it on the screen when I got lost earlier. We're coming up on another spur trail that I'm supposed to take a left on. You'll notice it because I film it and I still managed to get lost. You couldn't get too terribly lost out here. You theoretically are in a lot of concentric circles, but it does go to show. Yep, there I am missing a turn. I'm supposed to be on that river trail. But yeah, I had a map. I knew where I was going, and I still took 2 wrong turns, and I'm an experienced hiker. So I always just like to point out my mistakes so that you can hopefully not make the same ones and be safe out there. So how did the St. Louis River get its name? First, we're going to start with Saint Louis IX, King of France, from 1214 to 1270. He was a crusader, and he died on his second crusade and was canonized as a saint in 1297. Now we're going to fast forward a couple hundred years to 1693. King Louis XIV creates a new military honor called the Order of St. Louis. It's France's highest decoration for Catholic officers, and he names it after his ancestor, that Crusader king from 400 years ago who is now called St. Louis. Now we're going to jump to 1749. A French-Canadian explorer named, I hope I can get this right. Here we go. Pierre Gaultier de Vence Ségur de la Verdun has spent decades mapping the interior of North America, and King Louis XV awards him the Order of St. Louis for his achievements. La Verdun is honored, and he names this river after the medal that he just received. So that is how the St. Louis River got its name. So by 1755, the St. Louis River appears on French maps. It sticks through French control, British control, American control. This name outlasts empires. So when you say St. Louis River, you're not talking about the city. You are talking about a military medal from 1693 named after a Crusader saint from the 1200s that was given to an explorer in 1749 who decided that this river in northern Minnesota deserved that name. Woo! And the trail is super fun. There is lots of amazing river views before a nice leisurely stroll through a forest, and then you end up right back at the river again. It's super fun. You get to cross the suspension bridge twice, and it's a completely different hike in all seasons. In the summer, this place gets busy early and stays busy. You're gonna see people up and down the gorge enjoying what Mother Nature created in just a few short but significant days. And if you click on the Tzumi Woods channel, you can see some of the shorts of the river and the bridge and the summer, and it really shows you it's just 2 completely different worlds. The East Rim Trail is for sure a Tzumi Woods approved hike. And I just want to say thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to leave a comment. Let me know what your experiences are hiking out here in Jay Cooke State Park, or if you have anything to add to the geology or to how it got its name. If you know anything else about this medal or these saints, it would be super interesting. So add that to the comments. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see everyone out there hiking in the woods. Bye-bye, y'all.